Hello again, a very good morning. I'm glad you're still with us if you went with us into the break. For those that are joining us from across Uganda, in the region, East Africa, and from across the world, many thanks for keeping it here. We are now going to speak business in our business update, understanding how marine insurance policy works. We have an expert who will be helping us understand that, but that's after this preamble in line with the Uganda government directive that is effective 1st July 2022. Please note that all importers shall be mandated to procure marine insurance policies for their imports from local licensed insurance companies, and that is in accordance to Section 9, subsection 3 of the Insurance Act 2017. That is prior to obtaining customs clearance and also provision for local marine cargo or goods in transit certificate of insurance on the Uganda electronic single window. The other directive is that everyone will ensure that imports are insured locally by licensed insurance companies in liaison with the Insurance Regulatory Authority of Uganda. This is unprecedented in the insurance sector, especially for imports. And joining us is John Paul Kasimagwa, Assistant Underwriting Manager at GA Insurance Uganda, to help us understand what is this next step, especially when it comes to marine insurance policy. A very good morning, sir.
Good morning, and thank you for having me here.
You're most welcome. First, give us an update of the status quo when it comes to marine insurance in Uganda before this particular new policy came into force.
Before the policy came into place, marine insurance was, and still is, was being bought by individual clients. Individual importers.
That's right.
So through their various channels, you can, the purchase of the marine insurance is through, you can either come through as a direct client, you can come through licensed insurance brokers as per the IRA guidelines. Then you can also have licensed insurance agents. Then right now we also have banks that do the selling of insurance. So before the directive, I would say that that was the only way of buying marine insurance. Yes, but after the directive, then more and more issues are coming through. Yes.
For the uninitiated, what is marine insurance? When we hear insurance, some of us are more accustomed to the insurance that we see some of the agents, vending. So I haven't had somebody come to me vending marine insurance products and portfolios. Yeah?
Oh, okay. Marine insurance basically is insurance to do with conveyance of cargo from the port or point of loading to a point of destination, or point of movement or point of destination.
Yes.
So it looks at covering you for physical loss or damage to the items you're importing, then also covering the ships themselves. So that is marine hull, but I think the most common is marine cargo, which looks at now ensuring the items now being imported.
Okay.
So it is basically just cover for transit of those goods from wherever they're coming from to wherever they are going.
All right.
Yes.
So according to the research conducted here, aside from the perils of the sea, like say strong winds, what could go wrong in marine cargo transit? What other risks can somebody insure against, and that Uganda has adopted?
Well, aside from the perils of the sea, then we'll have perils on land as well, because you see marine, let's say if you're importing items and you're here in Kampala.
That's right.
So if you're importing items from wherever, say China, India, you're going to have one policy, say one cover, that is going to take you through from China up to the point of unloading your items. So that is up to your warehouse if the marine extends to that level. So along the way, we are going to have other perils. So once you're done with the perils of the sea, then the perils on land, there could be terrorism on land, there could be riots and strikes, so and other road risks. Okay. So it's not limited to.
It is not limited to sea.
Sea only, no.
Because when you say marine, it relates to sea transport. One would expect the moment those goods are off the sea and onto the land, there is quick transition into another form of insurance to cover for that, but it remains marine.
It remains, yes, it remains marine. However, there is a specific insurance policy for those now who are moving goods now from land or on land only. Let's say you're moving your goods from Mombasa.
That's right.
Or Dar es Salaam. So now there's another category under marine called now goods in transit.
Goods in transit.
Yes, but the marine itself also stretches from where you're bringing the goods from up to where you're going to unload them, including land.
So that means all the traders we see, Chikubo, all these markets and other industrial areas around the Kampala and metropolitan areas do undergo this particular policy shift. But allow me, there's a question that is itching, but it seems to elude me for now. When it does, I'll of course come back to it. Just take us through the change of policy. When is this expected to come in force? And when it does, what will it improve? Because many times the policy is designed to improve things. Exactly. And we need to know exactly what will improve. Will it, for example, curtail the loss of money? How much money are we losing to using insurance companies that are not locally based? And how much shall we get if we actually undertake that particular change?
Okay, let me start with the directive came through last year.
That's right.
Around July 2022. So the improvements we are looking at is it will come, number one, with wide coverage, because most of our importers, the insurance they buy from the countries of loading those goods or countries of origin of those goods. It's quite cheaper, yes, but it limits the coverage to, say, things of total loss. Now, here with our coverage, what we are pushing for as an industry through the regulator and the URA is the cover we give is wide in cover. So it's wide. It does not only look at total losses, you will look at things of partial losses. Then the other improvement will be now on the ease of claims. Okay, so assuming you bought your insurance, let's say from outside Uganda, you're importing your items from India, from China, and you're buying the insurance there. Now, at the time of, in case there's an unfortunate event, there's a loss, now you will have to process the claim through that company where you bought. But here we are looking at insurance being bought locally. You are the importer, so you have the insurance bought from Uganda. So any loss, any claim, you just walk through the insurance company, you go through your insurance agent or your insurance broker, then you can have yourself sorted out as fast as possible. So basically I can look at those as the biggest and the most two biggest improvements that you can look at having the marine locally. Then also the other improvement will be now supporting of the local what?
Of local actors.
Yes, supporting of the local actors. Yes. So now that support will not just sit on the insurance, but also on the market as well, or as a country.
One would ask a question that could be seen as overly pessimistic, but is there capacity to handle local importers the way they've been handled by companies that have the capacity overseas? Has there been a quick transition in terms of building that capacity?
Yes, the capacity is there. The capacity is there because we have quite a number of players in the market. Okay. Yes, at least 20 or at least 18, 17. Yes. So the capacity is there in terms of numbers of the insurance companies and players. Then also, these insurance companies also at an individual level, they've built the capacity to handle such risks. So I want to give the assurance here that the capacity we do have in the market.
All right.
Yes.
Are there any particular benchmarks that Uganda will be looking at? For example, does Kenya have this in place? There's which other country can I refer to? South Africa is often cited. Of course, that one is a very developed economy. It sure must be enrolling this out. Apart from Kenya, Tanzania, is it also onto this already?
Well, with Tanzania, I cannot give the assurance that they're on it already, though what I know about it is they have something similar.
They have something similar
to this, yes.
Okay.
But as a country and as a market, we've thought through this, and we've looked at it as something that can develop both the local players and also ease the process of our importers on getting the insurance, because you understand the clearing is done here, so it is easier for you to get an insurance certificate right next door. Yes.
This is a question that might be off your insurance pedigree and expertise, but you must be having some information on this. Uganda's trade balance has been on the wane. What are we importing most right now?
I think most of the things we're importing are, I would say, the usable items in our households.
Okay.
So most of the things being imported are either on a commercial level or on a domestic level. But most of the things imported are things that we are going to consume as Ugandans. So very few imports are coming in as raw materials, as or I would say as the like. Okay. But a lot of the things imported are mostly consumables. Yes.
Interesting there.
Yes.
That means what has been happening for now. Let me just bring this question back to, now I've remembered exactly what I wanted to ask you earlier. The fact that this is going to deal with imports. Now, we are exporting too, and quality assurance is very important. I do not know whether we shall also be subjected to local insurers in countries where we are exporting, or they can still depend on the insurance policies that are generated here.
Well, on the export, still, you can depend on the insurance policies, because remember, these are regulated companies.
That's right.
So the certificate given of insurance is very legal and recognized. So the assurance we can give to the exporters and people at the other end receiving the items from Uganda is that the evidence of insurance of the exporters from Uganda is 100% correct, and it is legal. So that assurance should be there. Once a local exporter comes along with a certificate of insurance, then just know that is a legal document, and it is quite acceptable. Of course, you can do your due diligence and check it out, but the assurance is that the certificate will be very real and original.
Okay.
Yes.
Now let's return to the small and medium enterprises within the marine insurance sector. Lake Victoria, there's a lot of business going on, and people are transporting goods from Kalangala to the mainland. People are fishing. Is that also part of the marine insurance policy? Does it cover, because we see so many accidents, boats capsizing and people losing goods? Have these local actors been also crafted into this policy?
Yes, because you know that is an inland transit.
That is inland
That's
transit.
an inland transit.
Okay.
So, which also works pretty much as this, because I talked of the marine insurance being quite wide.
Yeah, for me, I'm looking at marine on water.
Yes,
yeah.
So it's quite wide. So the inland transit, we've engaged all the players. Now on the local inland transit, now as an industry, as our regulator, as the URA, and all of us at large. So it's upon us, and we've done it, though it's still ongoing.
It's still ongoing.
Yes, to sensitize these players, then also sell our insurance to these players. Okay, because it is quite very, very important that you have your goods being transported, whether inland or through various countries, having insurance, because you can never know what
you can never know. And the reason I ask that particular question is because it starts small.
Yes.
For a Ugandan who is dealing with water transport and commercial goods transport, that is, to be very specific, will have trouble understanding what happens after somebody has gone away from Mombasa, from these other ports, when they haven't dealt with how transporting goods and insuring them on water is dealt with at the local level. All right, I'm afraid we are out of time, but in light of what is coming in force for this particular policy, what are the projections for the marine insurance market going forward?
We are projecting that the uptake will increase more now based on the local numbers.
That's right.
Because what is happening right now is that these importers are still buying the insurance, because for you to get clearance, you need to have a certificate of insurance or evidence. But our projection is that from the local players, the uptake is going to increase. Then we also expect quite a number of engagements and quite a bigger level of understanding now from what it is, because if you're buying the insurance from here, it is easier for you to get an understanding compared to the insurance you're buying somewhere abroad. Okay, so here the sensitization will quite shoot up on top of the numbers themselves, and we expect to see quite a big also number in terms of the written premiums being kept here with the local market. So we are positive and expecting quite a rising number.
How can we count on you, the marine insurance sector players and the regulator, on increasing the capacity of locals to deal in this particular sector of insurance by way of education and instruction, that is training? Are we collaborating with the institutions to ensure that people go now and study in order to meet the demand for human capital that will be needed, since it's now going to be locally based?
Yes, we have. Engagements have been there. Let me first put it at between the insurance players and our traders. So the engagements have been there in terms of sensitization, introducing the directive itself, because we are at the forefront of it, traders and the insurance players. So the sensitization has been there, though it is still ongoing, and it is more is needed. So the sensitization is there. Then also the players themselves, us, the insurance players, GA and the rest. We've also received quite a number of trainings. Yes, and we've also been urged on the importance and the purpose of the directive itself. So the capacity in terms of human resource, I would say, is there, because in training, these are traders. We've also included, you've seen cargo consolidators, then the clearing agents. So on a wider scale, that capacity has been built. Yes, and the human resource is there.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Jonan Kasimagwa, many thanks for giving us a little bit of light on what is no doubt a sector that could be less understood, but of course we are now emboldened by the information that you have given us. Many thanks for making it on the show. And that will do it for this business update, but we are going to be taking note of the day of the not African child, the day of the girl. Yeah, those are some of the things that ought to be paid attention to. My colleague Priscilla Regina Naloga shall be at hand to take us through what this is in line with the declarations of the United Nations General Assembly. Stay with us.